Hi, my name is not Charlie, you can call me Anna. You are currently watching my June wrap up. If you saw my previous video, which was my June TBR, you will probably already know that I challenged myself to read a lot of books this month. Initially, it wasn't actually a challenge, it was just that I had so many books I was really eager to read. I just wanted to read them this month, and then I made a TBR video and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna read all these books, and then there were a lot and I was like, am I actually going to be able to read all these books? And then it sort of turned into a self-challenge. So just to quickly give you an idea, because I'm currently doing the Harry Potter rereadathon, the first 3 books of Harry Potter were scheduled to be read in June. Apart from Harry Potter, I had 7 other books that I wanted to read this month, and I read all of them except for The Fellowship of the Ring. So I think that's pretty impressive. Slightly proud of myself. So I'm just gonna give you a quick rundown of the books that I have read for the month of June. Oh my goodness, I literally just got a text message from my sister saying, Camp Nano, Camp Nano, Camp Nano. Oh yeah, it's July. Well, that means my reading might slow down if I decide to start writing rapidly in a Camp NaNoWriMo. Resuming. So here are the books I have read this month. The first one was The Raven Boys in the Raven Cycle. I don't have it with me because I borrowed it from the library, but I do have The Raven King, which I have not read yet. So if you're a visual person, you can look at this. I read The Raven Boys and I absolutely loved it. So then I went on to reading The Dream Thieves, which is the second in the Raven Cycle. Again, I absolutely loved it. It was really just intricate. I don't know, it's really cool. Before I actually read Blue Lily, Lily Blue, which is the third in the Raven Cycle, I read Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I did not read this cover, but my camera is sitting on the other covers, so you cannot look at it right now. It would take a lot of effort and everything would fall. I love this cover actually. Why didn't I read this cover? Yes, I'm a big Harry Potter nerd, so I don't really need to say anything about this. I loved it. Then I did read the third book in the Raven Cycle, Blue Lily, Lily Blue, and I found it really good. Yeah, I don't know. I think that in the Raven Cycle, my favorite, no, I don't have a favorite. I just love them all for different reasons, and I just can't. And I love Blue. I love her, okay? All right, I'm gonna chill now. Because I had so many books I wanted to read in the month of June, I didn't actually read The Raven King, and also because the library didn't have it, and that's why I ended up buying it. Because I didn't get to reading The Raven King, that is all I've read of the Raven Cycle so far, so I still haven't read the ending, and I'm super excited to read that now. But the next book that I read was Remember to Forget by Ashley Royer. She is an author who is 17 years old, so she's obviously a teenager writing for teens. It's basically a love story, but the main guy has depression, so there's kind of like these issues in it as well. Reading this book, I could definitely tell that it was written by a younger author. I don't want to be mean, but at times it was a bit cringeworthy. I was just like, this is definitely someone who's younger and she doesn't have a lot of experience. However, that being said, for someone her age, with the experience she's got, she did a really, really good job. I remember being like halfway through and I was like, I don't know if I'm liking this. And then towards the end, I felt like I had been turned into a teenager and I was just like, this is adorable and I love it. And I'm such a sucker for romance. I really am. If it's good romance, sign me up. The next book after that one that I read was Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Again, this cover, oh my goodness, why didn't I read this one? It's so pretty. It's green. I love it. So I read this one next. I can't say anything about that other than, yay, Harry Potter, read Harry Potter. This cover actually looks really action-packed because if you look at it, the basilisk is about to eat Fawkes. But Fawkes is too quick. I keep on saying after I read this, but the actual reality is that I was kind of reading them all at the same time. So the next book on the list is Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. I finally read it and I am so happy and I do not regret it at all. I don't know what to say. It was like everything that I wanted in the book and more. Again, romance is one of my things. I just loved it. Then of course, the third and last Harry Potter book that I have read this month, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I love this book so much, okay? I love this book so much that I'm gonna make a long video with everything that I want to talk to you about in this book. So keep an eye out for that because it is coming. But yes, I read this one and it was just as good as it was like the first time, and this is like at least maybe 7th time reading it. The next book that I read this month, Emissary by Thomas Locke. I was really excited for this book. I've read some other stuff by Thomas Locke as well, and yeah, I just found the plot and everything really kind of exciting and I was really interested in what was going to happen. As it went on, I was very confused a lot of the time, just from the writing style. I think there were were things where there was just like this one moment in my head that I can remember in this book where they're basically going along and they're about to enter into like this kind of battle, and the main guy stops his friends and is like, wait, I've just had a thought. And then it says that he explained his plan to them and they were like, that's a great plan, let's do it. And then they continue on and the reader is left in the dark. This is just one circumstance, but there was a lot in the book where we were actually left in the dark, and it was probably for suspense and tension reasons, but it left me actually really confused, because for that instance, right, after he's just told his friends and we don't know what it is, but they keep going, it is never stated or explained what he was referring to. So much happened, I have no idea what was worth stopping his friends and telling them about. I still have no idea. I have a review on Goodreads of this, which is very detailed, but also contains spoilers, so you can read it if you want to, but yes, it has spoilers. Kind of left me a bit disappointed. It wasn't as good as I was hoping, just because I really felt like there was a lack of character development. Character anything, really. I just found it very confusing from start to finish. The main reason that I actually kept reading was just because of the magic and the way that the magic was described and used in the book. I loved it. That's kind of what kept me going, but yeah, for everything else, like the characters I felt were actually really weak. The plot wasn't explained enough. I mean, it was a good plot. It had a lot of potential. The way that Thomas Locke wrote it, I think, just left us too confused. Finally, one book that I actually started at the beginning of the month of June, and I finally finished reading it yesterday, which was Thursday. Today is Friday. The book that took me a whole month to read, and I don't regret a single page, was Magician by Raymond E. Feist. This book, oh my goodness, this book. If you haven't read this book, what are you doing with your life? Seriously, I cannot even express. This has been such a wild ride, and I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, especially now that I've finished it. All I want to do is go and find all of Raymond E. Feist's other books and read them. That's all I want to do. Life's hard when you're a bookaholic. This book has so many characters that is overwhelming. And if you had told me before I started reading it, been like, hey Anna, by the way, every chapter pretty much changes from one set of characters to a different set of characters, I probably would have been like, ha, okay, maybe later. That sounds a bit daunting to me. But no one told me that, and I'm glad, because even though there were so many characters and the plot was very complex, I have loved this book so much, and all of the characters I felt connections with, except for the bad ones, maybe even some of the bad ones. So while reading this book, I'm not even kidding, I've laughed at things that have happened in this book and I have cried at things that happen in this book, okay? There were a couple of nights where I was reading this before sleeping and I ended up crying myself to sleep. This is a really good book. Please read it if you like fantasy. The only book that I did not finish reading this month that I had on my list in my June TBR was The Fellowship of the Ring, but I don't feel too bad about not finishing it because it's one that my sister and I are currently reading together, and it's a much harder to read with someone else because you have to like coordinate your time. It wasn't just up to me, it was up to both of us. So because today's Friday, it's the 1st of July, yesterday was the last day of June, I was literally like cramming all my reading in, and that was when I finished this one. And I knew that I wasn't going to be finishing The Fellowship of the Ring, so I actually picked up another one. Yeah, I picked it up last night, and technically I didn't finish it before midnight, so I don't know if you would count that, but it's The Tales of Beedle the Bard. It's not that long. I mean, if you haven't read it, you really should. It gives you extra insights, especially if you love Harry Potter. This book gives you extra insights to the world. Anyway, so that was my June experience. Yesterday, I was really thinking to myself, I think I can finish Magician and I can also tear through The Fellowship of the Ring by myself maybe. But then I ended up going shopping with my sister. Not only did we go shopping, but then last night we rediscovered the joys of Pottermore. I haven't been on Pottermore in a very long time, so basically the last time I was on Pottermore was when I had this account with like a weird username, you know, how they gave you like a generated username. So obviously it's changed a lot since then. So me and my sister basically signed up for an account all over again, and we did the sorting, because as well there's the Ilvermorny sorting quiz now as well. If you don't know what Ilvermorny is, then what? It's okay, I didn't really know what it was until the other day. But yes, so we took the quiz, but the funny slash sad slash betrayal thing, just a refresher, I'm a Hufflepuff through to the core and I love Slytherin. So I joined up on Pottermore, I took the sorting quiz, and the first house that it put me in was Gryffindor. That is unacceptable and I felt betrayed. So my sister and I, because we both got into wrong houses, my sister got sorted into Slytherin and she's a Gryffindor. And if you're sitting there like, you should just accept what Pottermore sorts you into, Pottermore originally sorted me into Hufflepuff. That's why I had this whole nervous breakdown, because I thought I was a Slytherin and then I ended up being a Hufflepuff. And now I've actually come to terms with it, and I know that I'm a Hufflepuff because I've read all the traits and I've read like all the like theories and the rambles and so much. I've read so much that I know deep down that I am a Hufflepuff. So basically, instead of reading most of yesterday, I did other stuff with my sister and we made and deleted accounts on Pottermore to sort ourselves. And finally, I ended up giving the correct answers to sort myself into Hufflepuff, and now I'm happy. To end this video, I just want to let you know how many books I have read in total this month. I have read 11 books, and you could say that it's 12 if you want to count this as 2, because this is technically book 1 and book 2, so it could be 12. I'm just saying. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe, and I would love to hear any thoughts you have if you want to leave a comment down below, and I will see you in my next video. Ciao for now, monkeys! By the way, I forgot to mention this in a previous video, so I'm adding it to this one very quickly. My sister bought me an owl, and his name is Arcturus, in honor of Regulus Arcturus Black. Do you like him?